you heard about Moore, North Carolina? It's in the news. Apparently their substation, their electrical grid station, was recently vandalized and attacked. Now, the culprit of this vandalism is at present time still at large. So if you all have any tips, please contact, I want to say, every law enforcement agency in the nation. If you know who it is that did this vandalizing. But there's a more ominous, foreboding story inside of this story. You know, now there's a lot of articles being written since the attack on the substation in Moore, North Carolina, about just how truly vulnerable our power grid stations are all across America. And something tells me that this isn't going to be the last attack on a power grid this winter in America. Now, here's what I think. I think the Moore, North Carolina substation attack by whoever, and so far nobody is claiming responsibility for this attack, but by whoever did this, I think it was more to send a message, more so than to think that it was an isolated event. And I think the message is simple and it's clear. This is what we're going to do all winter long. Now here's the message that has to be sent in response to what I would deem domestic terrorism. It has to be loud and it has to be clear. Look, first and foremost, whoever the culprit or culprits were, if one senior citizen dies of hypothermia this winter in Moore, North Carolina, I hope you understand you're going to be charged with homicide. And they haven't even begun to go into those apartment units yet and search for the bodies. I said bodies, plural. You know people have died of that kind of severe cold who couldn't get out to a heating center. You know it. People on hospital generators, dialysis machines. See, when you do these type of dumb terroristic stunts to try to prove a political point, it has real world circumstance. People are going to die. People have probably already died, and more will die because of this. So I hope when they find the culprit or the culprits behind this attack, hope that they're punished to the severest extent of the law. But we have to look forward into the future. Look, there's only one thing that I thought of when I first heard this that needs to happen now. In every major city, the power grids need to be protected. And they don't need to be protected by, security. No. Have you seen some of the security they're hiring nowadays? Look, on a bad day, if my whole entire body was aching and I was only moving at a snail's pace, I could still get away from some of the security they're hiring nowadays. No. Our substations and power grid stations need to be secured. Not security, secured. And to that end, I believe the President of the United States is going to have to declare that the National Guard be ordered to protect every power grid station across America. Yes, you heard me right. The National Guard is going to have to be deployed at the power stations across America. This needs to happen immediately. This was an act of domestic terrorism. By who, we don't know. But it's not going to be tolerated. That much I can assure you. Look, expect to see the National Guard at the power stations. And the Humvees, armed to a T. And they should have been there to begin with. This is a problem that I see. Maybe nobody else sees it this way. But I definitely see it this way. We have individuals who have taken it upon themselves to act against their nation. And they're committing acts of violence to prove a political point. Look, you can have whatever political opinion you want, and I have many. But you don't see me outside shooting substations. I can definitely do it. I wouldn't say that I'm going to do it, but I could definitely behave this way and say that it was for a political reason. It doesn't matter. It's an act of terrorism. And it would be treated that way, and this should be treated this way. You can't hire Jimmy, who's security at 7-Eleven, for people who are seeking to do great bodily harm to millions of Americans. We have to be realistic. We have to know our enemy this winter is going to seek to do these things. It's written in their manuscripts. According to the FBI, they said this was not unforeseen. Meaning they've been hearing rumors about attacks on power grids for a long time now. I consider this a warning shot. No pun intended. What happened in Moore, North Carolina. Many of us have long picked up chatter. We won't say from who because we have our own intelligence. We never declare what our intelligence is. Just know it's more intelligent than your intelligence. And our intelligence has told us that there are planned active attacks against power grids in major metropolitan cities this winter. We know which ones as well. We won't mention them for now. Tonight, I'm encouraging the President and the Vice President to deploy the National Guard in all 50 United States and territories at all major power institutions and substations across America. This needs to happen urgently and with great haste. For a nemesis and enemy of the Republic, to which we all stand, has declared war on the citizenry in our Republic. And our enemy is an inside foe, an ancient nemesis of mine and our Republic. And whilst it deems me no great pleasure to have to say we have domestic enemies, you can clearly read the text where it says in defense of the nation by foreign and domestic enemies. We know, or we have strong suspicion of who did this, but we will not say, because they would say it's a conspiracy and you have no proof. But we really do have proof. I know who did it, but I'm not going to say it. I want them to know that I know, and that I could say it, but I won't. The National Guard should be deployed in all major American cities as soon as possible. Look, this winter is really going to be difficult for Americans. It's going to be difficult for Western individuals, people that have grown accustomed to a certain type of life. It's going to be difficult. Our enemy, as President Zelensky rightfully said in Ukraine, our enemy is going to attempt to use winter against us. They can attempt all they want. If they come into the cities, you will not leave the city. It will be a one-way ticket into the cities. I want you to know. And I got my toys last year for Christmas. Big shout out to the CCP. They still showed me love. So I've got my toys ready. For the boys who are proud, you say? The Proud Boys? Yeah, I've got my toys. They're very ancient, arcane, in some cases rustic. But they'll definitely do the trick. I won't show on the internet my toys. they'll have me remove the video. They're specifically for Proud Boys, though. They're big toys. You can come into the city this winter and think that this is a snowy owl that stays on a tree. No. I come down from the tree too. And boy, you're gonna wish you had stayed wherever the hell you were. Don't go into Chicago. Don't go to Philadelphia. Don't go to Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, New York City. Don't go. Don't go to DC. You stay home and you stay safe. Because if you come with your Ford F-150s and your AR-15s, you're not going to leave.